Okay, let's dive right in. We're talking about communication at work, but, not just the boring stuff. We're talking about how to make sure your amazing ideas don't just get heard, but actually make a real impact. This is all about how you can speak up and really stand out.
You've been there, right? You're in a meeting, maybe a brainstorm session, and you've got this brilliant point to make, but it just feels impossible to break through all the noise. Your voice kind of gets drowned out, and then bam, the conversation moves on without you. It's super frustrating, and it happens to all of us.
But what if the fix isn't about just raising your voice? What if it's all about refining your strategy? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down here. It's not about volume, it's about structure, credibility, and having a real impact. So, where do we even begin? Well, it all starts with a really simple but powerful idea. You have to justify your opinions. Seriously, this is the absolute bedrock of persuasion in any professional setting. It's what separates just having an idea from having an idea that people actually stop and listen to. Just think about it for a second. When you justify what you're saying, you're not just saying, hey, I think this. You're building a case for it. This simple act gives your stance instant credibility. It helps persuade and inform your coworkers. It cuts down on misinterpretations. And yeah, it just builds a way stronger, more compelling argument.
So how do you actually do it effectively? Well, the good news is there's a simple blueprint you can follow. It's a really actionable technique we're calling the three-step justification framework. It's super easy to remember, and trust me, it's incredibly powerful when you put it into practice.
And here it is. Just 3 simple steps. First, state your opinion. Be clear, be concise, no waffling. Second, lay out your main points. Think of these as the key pillars holding up your argument. And third, and this is crucial, back up each of those points with supporting details. This is where you bring in the evidence. Let's see how it works. Okay, imagine you want to make a case for the company to invest more in communication training. You'd start with a really clear opinion, just like this. In my view, prioritizing effective communication is absolutely crucial for our company's success. See, that's step 1. Clear, direct, and it sets the stage perfectly.
Now for step 2, you can't just leave that opinion hanging out there by itself. You need to support it with your main points. So you could say, effective communication is crucial because 1, it improves teamwork, getting everyone on the same page. And 2, it reduces costly misunderstandings. It stops those little breakdowns before they happen.
And here comes step 3, the proof. For your first point about teamwork, you bring in the data. You could say something like, and we know this is true because studies show that a whopping 75% of successful projects rely on strong team communication. All of a sudden, your point isn't just an idea, it's a fact-based argument. And for that second point, well, you can drive it home by showing what's at stake. You could point out that poor communication costs companies a staggering $37 billion every year. Now that is an argument that's pretty hard for anyone to ignore. Okay, so using this framework is a game changer, but it's just as important to know what not to do. Let's take a quick look at some of the common pitfalls that can totally sink an otherwise solid argument. These 3 are the big ones. First, making these huge, sweeping generalizations with zero evidence. That's the fastest way to lose all your credibility. Second, wandering off topic with details that don't matter. Every single piece of evidence has to directly support your main point. And third, ignoring other points of view. It might feel a little risky, but acknowledging counterarguments and addressing them actually makes your own position way, way stronger. All right, so you've got your structured argument ready to go, but how do you find the right moment to share it when the discussion is moving a mile a minute? This brings us to another key skill, learning how to interrupt with impact, but, without being rude about it. This is such a game changer. So many of us hesitate to interrupt because we think it's impolite. But when you do it the right way, it's actually a necessary tool for good collaboration. The secret is all in your timing and your phrasing. Let's run through a few phrases you can literally start using today. First up, a classic. I'm sorry to interrupt, but. This is just a straightforward way to soften your entry. It's polite, it shows you respect who's speaking, and it's a safe bet in almost any situation. Next up, try asking for permission. Something like, may I add something here? This is a great collaborative way to do it. Instead of just jumping in, you're kind of inviting yourself into the conversation, which signals you want to build on the idea, not just take it over. Now, what if you have a different take? This next phrase is perfect. I see your point, however.
It's so powerful because you start by validating what the other person said before you introduce your own idea. It shows you're actually listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk. And finally, a fantastic tool for preventing those misunderstandings we talked about. Could I quickly clarify something? This is a totally non-confrontational way to just pause the conversation and make sure everyone's on the same page. It stops the whole discussion from going off the rails.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground, from structuring your arguments to politely jumping into the conversation. So let's pull it all together into a simple, actionable toolkit that you can start using, like, right now.
So here's the bottom line. Great communication is a skill, and it's one you can absolutely build. Remember to use that 3-step framework and always back your points up with evidence. Watch out for those common mistakes and master a few of those polite interruption phrases to make sure your voice gets heard. And finally, just practice. The more you build and test your arguments, the more confident you're going to feel.
Look, at the end of the day, every big innovation, every smart solution, it all starts as just an idea in someone's mind. But an idea is only powerful if it can be communicated well. You have the tools right here. So the only question left is, are you ready to use them?